This August, the rhythm returns. The Toronto Pan-African Film Festival is back, and louder than ever. It's Rhythm, the heartbeat of Black music and storytelling. Experience the powerful fusion of film and music that honors the creativity and impact of Black musicians worldwide. August 14th to 17th, from the Black Carpet Gala in Little Jamaica to free screenings, panel vibes, and the grand finale brunch with media mogul Phillip Scott. Get your tickets now at tpaf.com. The Toronto Pan-African Film Festival 2025. Feel the rhythm, live the story.
You've tried it your way, but you're still in debt? Or maybe you're doing okay, but want to invest smarter, grow faster? MillionaireX.ai gives you real step-by-step strategies to ditch debt or stack wealth. Stop dreaming and start planning. Visit MillionaireX.ai today. I want you to be the next millionaire next door.
Finding the right real estate professional can be challenging. I'm broker Melissa Wilson. I'm knowledgeable in all aspects of the real estate process. So whether you're looking to buy new or an existing home or have a commercial need, I'm here to help.
Let's stop acting like we don't see how this game is played. If you tired of folks throwing shade with a smile and keeping you boxed in with that slick behind-the-scenes racism, it's time to upgrade your survival skills. See, Phillip Scott dropped more than just knowledge. He handed you a playbook with passive-aggressive racism in the system of white supremacy. This ain't the in-your-face kind. This is that sneaky, office space, let me block your blessings type of racism that'll have you questioning your own reality. It's time to call it what it is and arm yourself with the facts. But baby, don't stop at just peeping the system. Break those mental chains too. That's why you need 7 steps to decolonize the mind. This is about freeing yourself up top, walking in confidence, and letting the world know your mind is not for rent, lease, or layaway. It's time to reclaim your power step by step. So don't just watch, take action. Click over to Amazon.com, type in passive-aggressive racism in the system of white supremacy and 7 steps to decolonize the mind, and secure both books for yourself, your crew, and anybody ready for that mental liberation. La Sherika said it, now go do it. Invest in your freedom. Pick up both books today on Amazon.com. Trust me, your mind will thank you.
I don't spend my money at the club. Everything I want is provided for me.
Biggest misconception about you? Nothing. It's all true. It's all true. It's all true. If you hear something, believe it. You want to get married now? Do you feel like you're that? No. It is by choice. It's by choice.
Who inspires me? Me. Yes. Me. Yeah. They inspire me, those people you mentioned.
I date mostly like married men, because I don't have that type of time for you. Oh, yeah. And you are married, you don't have that type of time for me.
What do you think it is that the wives are not doing?
I love this question.
They're not really being loved properly. You know, when you stay with someone for so long and you feel like, oh, I don't really have to do much. Don't ever be comfortable around a human being. They can switch.
His wife, one day I just make 11 o'clock, I'm like, she's like, my husband can't control himself, and you as a woman, you can't. I said, Mama, you can't even speak English. Like, I can't even understand. Like,
yeah, I can even speak English because of that's why.
Yeah.
I can't even speak English sometimes. I wouldn't say it was a sugar daddy or a blaster. But I had a thing with someone that was giving me a lot of money.
Every day he was sending me money for lunch.
Every day is when you go to work?
Exactly.
Shout out to the slave queens who are getting their thing without having to sell a thing,
Yeah.
Trust me, you can get whatever you want, once you put your mind to it.
Watch Slay Queen only on the African Diaspora News Channel app.
From November 14th to 21st, we're inviting you to join us for a powerful trip to Ghana. This isn't just a vacation. This is a chance to walk through the same places where many of our people were captured held, and shipped off into slavery. So don't wait. Secure your spot today. We're making history by walking through it. Will you be with us?
In H-Town, we want news that speaks truth, just like we do.
ADNC keeps me informed and him inspired.
We've been through too much to trust mainstream media. This feels like us.
From the D to the diaspora, ADNC is how I stay woke. We binge ADNC like it's Netflix, but smarter.
They speak on us, but never for us. ADNC does.
No fluff, no filters, just the truth, daily.
From Wall Street to 125th, we're watching our news.
Download the African Diaspora News Channel app today to stay connected to the culture.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, thank y'all for joining us on the stream this evening. It is July the 30th. We're getting down to the end of the month. Tonight, we're going to talk about a great sister by the name of Representative, make sure I see it right, Carla Cunningham. Okay, she's out of North Carolina. There was a bill that was presented to the governor in North Carolina, and he vetoed it, and this bill came back up because they wanted to override the veto. Now, this bill that Sister Cunningham was being a part of was to basically make law enforcement assist ICE with ICE retainers or anything that ICE needs, okay? So that's what that's about. And Representative Cunningham decided to side with the Republicans on that, the only Democrat from what I read there, to side with the Republicans, and the Democrats are very, very upset with this sister. But this sister explained herself to why she did it. She explained herself. So we'll definitely get to that tonight. For sure, we are, definitely, of course, we're on the app, and that's where we always going to be as well. And, of course, these nightly streams, we'll definitely go to multiple platforms. But, hey, if I shut all the other platforms down, we'll still be going on the app. So make sure the app is the best place. But if you're not on the app, as of right now, different things happen. Then you can join us, definitely here on YouTube. Also tonight, we're streaming on Facebook tonight. So shout out to the people from Facebook that could be watching. Shout out to you. So, man, how y'all doing, man? How y'all doing? I mean, it is hot. It is so hot out here, ladies and gentlemen. God, it's hot. When it's hot like that, I don't like stepping outside. I really don't. I can't. I guess because I worked so many years in the heat, I can't no more with it. I'm like, yeah, I'm good. I'm going in the house. Because I used to work heater barges back in the day, and I was doing asphalt at that. So you got a 300-degree product underneath your feet, and it's hot outside, and you're running heaters in the middle of the freaking summer, and you're wearing this freaking thick coverall, right? I suffered over the years doing some of these jobs. So I'm like, I guess I'm just burnt out with the heat. Y'all want to go run in the heat and enjoy it? I'm like, go ahead and do that. I'm going to be over here chilling. That's why I just think, I said, man, I told my wife, I said, boy, sometimes I want to be somewhere else where we get at least 4 seasons, because I get tired of this heat down here. Oh, my God. And the hurricane. You say it's hot in Chicago right now? You say we've been calling for, you say we've been getting a cooling for the next couple of days? Man, Chicago get cool. Ooh, boy, last time I was in Chicago, boy, that wind was kicking. But shout out to Chicago, man. Shout out to Chicago. Man, actually, speaking about Chicago, I just did an interview with Brother Tyrone Muhammad, actually, out of Chicago. If you remember, I interviewed with him about a year or two ago. I interviewed with the brother, so I just did a recent interview with him. So we got to, get that finished, edited, and get that up. Y'all can hear what Tyrone has to say. All right, ladies and gentlemen. All right, you say it's stupid hot near San Antonio? Yeah, San Antonio always hot. Hey, yeah. Yeah, it's always hot. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead on and get with it. Let's go ahead and get with it. All right. So we're going to get into this now. So let's look at who is Representative Carla Cunningham. Let me go ahead and get it up on my screen so y'all can see what she looks like and all of that. So let me find my other screen. I think there she goes. All right, boom, there she is. All right, so this is North Carolina General Assembly, so you can just kind of get a background of who she is in the 25-26 session. She's out of District 106 in Mecklenburg. You know, maybe some of y'all live out that way. There's a lot of brothers and sisters. She's a registered nurse, actually. And, so it's giving you an idea who she is a little bit. And that's that. All right. So now, just to give you a little background, like I said, she is a Democrat. Let me get my other screen back up. Now, I want you to hear in its entirety why she voted with the Republicans about the situation with ICE, right? And let's play this real quick, because she's going to make a whole lot of good points.
Get the motion.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Today is a new day, but I'd like to take a moment to reintroduce myself to each of you. I am ADAS, American Descendants of Slaves. I am a Black American, and I am an American. I'm going to present my case in support of House Bill 318, as it is time for my unapologetic truth to be shared with all of you. First, as a people, we need to recognize that it's not just the numbers that matter, but also where the immigrants come from and the culture they bring with them to another country. As the social scientists report, all cultures are not equal. Some immigrants come and believe they can function in isolation, refusing to adapt. They have come to our country for many reasons, but I suggest they must assimilate, adapt to the culture of the country they wish to live in. No country is going to allow people to come in and not acknowledge its constitution, legal systems, and laws. They will not tolerate it. So do you think I can go to another country and set up my own rules to live by, use the language I choose, and then tell that country that you must speak my language? That's not going to happen, nor should it. As a country, the United States has been more tolerant than most other countries. Other countries are making it much more difficult to get citizenship. We have been naive. We have been exploited and abused by the different tactics to gain citizenship in America. It's time to wake up. Global migration in the past was not projected to be as it is today. We must establish new rules to address a distinct type of migration that we are facing in our country, state, and cities. It's time to turn the conveyor belt off and adopt a global migration suitable for the times that we're in. And that is not destabilizing our communities. A large number of people entering a country can change it forever. In conclusion, let me share with you all what happens when a woman lawmaker like myself choose to move differently. Yes, I was degraded for my vote. Yes, I was called racist for my vote. And yes, I was said I was trash. However, I figured it out. They want me to stop elevating my ancestors' history. They want me to be silent in my country. They want me to line up behind their priorities while my people and communities continue to struggle in our country. Mr. Speaker.
Lady will suspend momentarily. Members, it's not a kindergarten class. I look up and I see full-grown adults, many of you senior citizens, and you're clearly trying to make noise like a young child might when they're having to sit in a classroom and listen. So please, you're not doing anything by making these noises. And the Sergeant at Arms sees the lady who just was making the noise. The Sergeant at Arms has the chair's direction to go ahead and remove the lady. Again, folks, please, we're allowing folks on both sides of this issue to speak. If you want to come down here and debate, go run for public office. Thank you. Lady continues to have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. As I was saying, they want me to line up behind their priorities while my people and communities continue to struggle in our country. Is this not your country? This is my country. With the good and the not so good, this is my country, 'tis of thee. Now, if you want to adapt to my country, not isolate yourself and come here legally, I welcome you. But today, I am telling you, I am not going to be silenced by those who disagree with my ideology on the issue at hand. Because the blood of my ancestors.
Mr. Speaker.
1 second, Representative Cunningham. For what purpose is the lady from New Hanover, Representative Butler?
I feel like we're getting into personal territory and maligning the character of the members of this body.
I think the lady is speaking to the personal attacks that she received from folks outside of this body, unless I misheard what she said. And the lady is correct that it's not appropriate to talk about personal attacks of members of the body. Again, I understand her to be saying some personal things that she received from outside.
Well, Mr. Speaker, in that case, I would move the previous question.
Okay. Lady's not recognized for motion. Representative Cunningham, lady continues to have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. See, it was my ancestors who came over as slaves, built this country with a strain on their backs. They sweat pouring from their bodies in the rice fields, the cotton fields, and the tobacco farms for this country. Lived as servants and was the footstool, I said the footstool, for far too many feet to step on. So today, if you ask me to line up behind another group of people to raise awareness about their plight, I unapologetically say no. Mr. Speaker and colleagues, please accept my remarks. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Man. Representative Cunningham. Okay, wrong screen. I got to get to the right screen, right? Where's my screens? All right. Representative Cunningham. I love it. All right. Why do I like that? Well, let's take our time with it. I know some of y'all was asking about Jasmine Crockett. I don't know why y'all asking about her. But I want y'all to understand, they say that, oh, what y'all talk about online, that's a bunch of online chatter. Oh, y'all trolling. Nobody cares about what y'all say online. Well, why did an elected official literally speaking a whole delineation message? She literally was delineating the whole time. And she was standing 10 toes down on delineation. That's what she was standing 10 toes. Now, delineation has to happen in order for us to get reparations. It's nowhere around. Delineation, I'm going to repeat this. Delineation is not about hate toward nobody. But if we are sitting up here being a minority coalition, you can't get reparations. If you're sitting up here doing people of color, you can't get reparations. And this sister hit so many points in this. It's just videos for days, actually. One of the major points that she pointed out was about different groups bring over their culture. It don't matter where they come from. If they come from Latin America, they bring their culture. If they come from Asia, they bring their culture. If they go from the African continent, they bring their culture. No matter where they come from, if they come from the Middle East, they bring their culture. India, they bring their culture. These people do not leave their culture in their homeland at the airport. They transfer that culture over here. They transfer their religion over here. Their language, everything that, and their nuances, they transfer it here. Some of it could be good. Some of it could be bad, like those who don't like to put on deodorant and want to be musty. That's not a cultural norm in the United States. But in some countries, that is a cultural norm. And being musty is okay. But in this country, must is not okay, because to me, that is extremely offensive that you would walk around with that kind of body odor. Especially you want to get on an airplane with people, you like entrapped around people, going into public stores. I've smelled the must on a couple of different groups. That's those cultures that they bring over here. But if we say something about it as Americans, say, hey man, deodorant not too cheap, man. I mean, it's cheap. You can buy it. You want to put that on? I mean, it's kind of. You say I smell? Yeah. You don't smell yourself? Like I say, I know. Listen, certain smells just get imprinted in your brain. Listen, I told this story before. I'm gonna tell it again for new people that may be here. My wife has sent me to get something from Walmart. She needed a couple of items. Okay, cool. So I'm go. I said, all right, I go get it. I went to Walmart to get these couple of items. I'm walking over there to go buy the paper plates. They'll need some paper plates. And they had this dude and his lady. They were together. And they were actually East Indian. And I'm going to tell y'all, first of all, the smell that was coming, I'm like, how? And you got a woman walking around with you smelling like that? I mean, you haven't had that smell that just come at you, just smack you in your face like that, and it's like it just and then it gets in your nostrils, and I'm like, you smell like must, you're smelling like feet and booty all wrapped into one, and you walking in public like this, poor workers, poor public, and if you say something that's a problem, this is what I'm talking about. I'm just giving an extreme, but those things happen. They're not trying to assimilate to American culture. Matter of fact, they are against assimilating to American culture. Like the sister said, it's true. They want to separate out of American culture, be away from American culture, and Americans for the most part, and truth be told, a lot of them don't like Americans. They'll come in our country and look down on us in our own country. Like, wait a minute, you fled from India, okay? You fled from China. You fled. You didn't stay. You didn't stay 10 toes down over there. You fled. And then now you want to come over here and look down on us? And then when you start showing them their homeland, about like when they really get like out of pocket with you, and you show them their homeland, and then they want to say, oh, now you're xenophobic. It's like, wait, hold on. So you not being xenophobic by hating Americans then? Or talking down on America, calling Americans dumb, or calling Americans lazy, or calling Americans all kind of things, right? Nothing's wrong with that. But if Americans fire back at you and give you some truth about who you are and where you come from, then there's xenophobia, you hate immigrants, all of that. No, the fact is, listen, if a person is homeless and a person says, you know what, I'm going to take you in, and this is a room where you can stay. Hey, this got a bathroom, got anything you need. Hey, you need some new clothes? Come on, I'll take you to Walmart. I'm going to take you to get you everything you need from Walmart or whatever. I don't spend too much money, but I'm going to spend some money on Walmart, get you some clothes, shoes, some toiletries, whatever, right? Matter of fact, I'm going to give you, some money to get you some food. Matter of fact, I know somebody can hook you up with a job, so you better work a job. And hey, I even know somebody at the used car dealership that even help you get you a car. And you do all that for that person. And then that person may, get their weight up a little bit. They really may not need that. Then all of a sudden, you may be struggling just for a minute on something. Now all of a sudden they're looking down on you, and they want to claim, oh, I'm doing better than you. Like, wait a minute. You came in my house homeless. I'm the reason why you where you at now. If it wouldn't been for me, you'd be still on the street homeless. And now because I'm dealing with a problem right now, you think you better than me? You think you seriously think you're better than me at this moment? And say, look, I'm just dealing with the issue today. That's not permanent. You say, you can be homeless tomorrow. You know that, right? The thing is, they living in your house telling you they better than you in your house. Usually, if someone's that arrogant in your house, usually gonna say, you know what? Okay, get your stuff, get out. Since you're so much better or whatever, get out. You work so hard, you work harder than me, get out. How you been in this house this long and I've been doing this? Well, because you didn't build a house. You didn't go through anything that we went through to get this house established or anything that you saw in here. You waltzed in here after everything was built in this house. You sitting on the couch when we didn't have no couch. We were sitting on the floor. You watching the TV, we didn't have a TV for years. And now you think you're doing better because you just waltzed in after all the work is done? That's the kind of arrogance that has been created and why the delineation movement is now even creeping all the way up to politicians now. See, it's not just something on the fringe, even though some people could take it extreme, and I'm not going to go the extreme routes. I know where to keep delineation at, and I'm going to keep it there. I'm not going to go them other routes with delineation. I'm just not going to do it because it's not productive at that point. But politically, delineation is important. You have to understand what started to open up, I think, a lot of people's eyes, and I want y'all to think about this. Do y'all remember the recent protests in LA? Do y'all remember those protests recently, ladies and gentlemen? The recent protests in LA opened people's eyes. Now, you may say, what opened people's eyes about the recent protests in LA? When they was going back and forth with ICE, okay. Everybody brought out foreign flags. You don't want to go back to the place where you're swinging a foreign flag of. You don't want to go there, but you're swinging a foreign flag. And people start looking more into that. And they start saying, well, wait a minute, hold on. This is is this like elements of colonization? People start asking this question. And definitely Black Americans ask this question too. Let's think about it. When a place was colonized, what did the first thing they did, if anything else? They put down their flag. They say this is the territory for the King of England, right? For the British Crown. This is the territory of Spain. They put down the flag. This is the territory of Portugal. They put down their flag. Every last one of them put their flag down. That's the first thing they did before anything else. Before any other conquest, they put down their flag and said, we claiming this land for the British Crown. Then, once they put down their flag first, what's the next thing they did? Either they finessed them out of their land or they took it by force, whatever the case may be. Let's say whatever they finessed them or took it by force. What else did they do in colonization? They immediately start saying, you need to practice our culture, not yours. Not the indigenous people of that land. You need to practice our culture. You don't need to be speaking your indigenous language. You need to start speaking English. You need to start speaking Spanish, because Spanish is a colonial language too. You need to start speaking Portuguese. That's a colonial language too. That's colonizer language, okay? Or they're speaking in Latin America right now. That is not the original language those people are speaking. They want you to speak their language, force you to speak their language. We were not speaking the language of English as slaves. They forced us to speak English. We did not speak our dialects that we had from the continent. We still had our culture. We still kept a lot of our culture, but the language part. They forced on you their religion, right? That's part of colonization, religion. You may be one religion. No, you're going to be Christian. You're going to be Muslim. Like when the Muslims was doing the slave trade, they forced Islam on those people, right? So forcing their religion, forcing their customs, for making you change your whole way of life to fit theirs. That's colonization. Now in this country, you got certain sections of America that if you don't know a foreign language, you're like, what's going on? Why do I need to know a foreign language in my country? Now, if I'm in somebody else's country and they say, hey, man, you need to speak the language, I say, okay, well, I guess if I don't know it, I'll get a translator or Google Translate or something. But I have to figure it out. But in this country, as the sister said, we have bent over backwards for everybody into de facto colonization. And people don't see that, especially in the black community. We have been a lot colonized by a lot of people coming in with their businesses, doing whatever they want in their businesses there. We see what East Indians coming in there, Arabs coming in, Asians. There's the three people that usually come into the black community. And they bring their different cultures. And in their cultures, they don't care what happens to the community or nobody else. All they there is to leech off the black community and get a bag. I got a video coming about one of those business owners too. And I remember in Houston, we did a video about that. The business owners selling paraphernalia for people to do drugs in the black community. See, the white people are not going to let them in their community doing that crap. They're not going to let them. No, they say, you can go over there to the black people. You ain't coming over here doing that. We're going to keep this nice. And ain't going to have no. Now, you want to do that over there in the trailer park area, you go ahead, but not here. Now, this middle-class suburban, you're not coming here to own nothing. We owning everything. And that's how it should be in the black community. We're supposed to be owning everything. The corner store, the gas station. We should be owning the grocery store. We should be owning everything in our own community, just like the folks do. And a lot of the Asians. But hold on. And that's right, brother, they give the worst food because we're not in control of our own food. They sell expired food because I've been there when they caught them doing it. I've been there. And they say, hey, why are you selling expired food to these people? They don't care. That's what I'm saying. When people say, look, a lot of dirt, a lot of scamming has been going on, and it's time to clean house, that's what they mean. Customer service. Let's talk about that. That's also not a tenet of other cultures a lot of times. In American culture, customer service is a huge thing. Customer is always right 95 to 90% of the time, okay? If you mess something up, you try to fix it with the customer. Worst case scenario, say, oh my God, let me refund you your money. Other cultures, it's like you mess up or not, they don't want to give you no money back. I'm not giving you no money back. I did it. And beyond with you, a lot of the issue with even some of the African braiding shop issue, like I said, I've done research into it, it's customer service issues. The majority of it is customer service issues. It's not ability, it's customer service. It's because you have language barriers, that's happening too. Language barriers create a problem. So you have language barrier issues at times. Also, immigrants, Americans don't really like when y'all are speaking, like let's say if somebody's doing somebody's hair and you speaking a foreign language over them, it makes them feel sometimes a certain kind of way because I'm like, okay, you want to talk to somebody else or you don't want me to hear what you're saying. You're creating exclusion right then and there versus, let's say, an American person, either they're going to talk to their customer or maybe if they need to say something to somebody, they'll just text that they don't want them to hear their text. But they're not going to have a whole conversation on the phone with somebody else. I mean, it's not like your child or your husband or wife or whatever. You taking care of something important. No, you having a full-fledged conversation, not even talking to your customer, right? It seems kind of rude, and it's not good customer service. But in other countries, a lot of countries, customer service is not king like that. So even with the braiding shops, right? If you look at a lot of countries, and definitely what I've been informed, a lot of West African countries, customer service is not like America. No, not too many places customer service like America. America's top tier with customer service, okay? I'm not saying people are not nice, but we're talking about customer service. And so when you bring people over that's not used to that, that's not assimilated into American culture, this is where you have these issues and problems come up. And then people get mad about their money, get pissed off, then low blows start happening, fights start happening, and the root of that is not ability, but customer service and sometimes language barrier. but you not assimilating into American culture created a problem. Also, the reason why the delineation movement is getting up to people even like Representative Cunningham politically is because everyone's seeing that you better say something because they're trying this cultural erasure. And this minority coalition crap, this people of color crap, that has been very detrimental to Black Americans in particular. We have not gained anything on minority coalitions. Now, minority coalition is supposed to be everybody gets something equally, and that's not happened. These people of color, everybody's supposed to get something equally, and that's not happening. Every time you do the research, when it comes to minority set-asides, Black Americans in particular are at the bottom. POC at the bottom. Even with DEI, Black people at the bottom of DEI. That's why I didn't scream and yell and fight about DEI, because the number one recipient of DEI was white women. And then after them, white LGBT. I've seen so many women on LinkedIn, white women LinkedIn, the head of the Diversity, Equity, Inclusion Department. You would think you see more Black women, maybe some Latinos, but no. It was a lot of white women that was the head of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion. The white American woman, she's the ultimate one in this country. And the reason why I say that, she get to play both sides. She get to take the privilege of white supremacy and to set aside a minority POC and all of that. And that's the biggest complaint with her man is that she can get both sides and he can't. That's his biggest gripe, beyond with you. And the reason why she can get all that is because originally affirmative action was supposed to be for us. Now after Kennedy died and Johnson came in, then they added all that extra stuff like women and all that. And think about it. Why do you need to add women? Black women is included with Black people. Remember, Black men and women were not getting jobs. So that's what affirmative action came in at, to make sure Black people, men and women, can get a job, have an equal opportunity to get a job. But when later they start adding women and disability and all this other stuff, that backdoored white women to come right on in affirmative action. Then once you did the research, then white women benefited more off of affirmative action than Black people. That's been the ultimate finesse to start to bring money back to their community. Our set-asides, let them get in, and the goal was to bring it back to their household. They married to their man, bring it back to their household. You said in federal workforce, when DEI was here, Black Americans wasn't at 20% of the workforce. Yeah, I mean, Black people didn't benefit off of DEI. That's why I didn't fight about it. Trust me, if I knew any program benefited us and we was at the top of something, you better believe, even if we was 50% of DEI, let's say we were 50% of that, I would have been screaming and yelling about DEI all day long. But when I saw the numbers that we was at the bottom of DEI, I said, oh, what are we fighting for? I said, I'm not fighting for no program. I'm not fighting for a single program that's going to benefit Becky and them. No, because Becky and them is not part of my community or family. So we're not going to get none of that. So this sister voted with the Republicans. They needed that one vote so ICE could come in and do what they want to do. Now, let's talk about that situation. Black Americans, at one point in time, they kept saying we were next, right? We were next until they found out a harsh reality that we're not immigrants. And then you notice that we're next stuff that kind of went away because we're not immigrants in this country. So now that that's went away, the thing is, y'all have to understand the Biden administration created this problem. Y'all thinking that this popped up with Trump. No, I was preaching every night about what Biden was doing, flying these people in here, 30,000 of them a month on a CBP-1 app and dropping them off in our major cities. Then they were flooding the southern border, overwhelming Border Patrol. And I said, what all these military-age males keep coming here for? they need to stay in their homeland and fight and build up their own homeland. Now, if it's women and children, and I mean small children too, not no freaking 14, 15-year-old, but small children, I'm much willing to help women and small children. But freaking grown men of all sizes, the majority of them come from Latin America, but you had some from the continent, some from the Caribbean. Wasn't many of them. Let's keep it 100. And then I never forget how when the Haitians tried to come in that way and how they acted about the Haitians coming in. And they act a plumb fool when the Haitians tried to cross. They treated the Haitians bad. But all them other ones that wasn't the Haitians, they let them come on over. So even who they let come over was based off of race, even during the Biden administration. Why? So when I saw all that, just looking at all of that, and I saw what Brandon Johnson was doing in Chicago to Black Americans, how Black Americans are homeless. They had 50 schools closed in Chicago, and yet now he wants to open them up for people that came over here because they chose to. Yet you got Black Americans who's homeless in Chicago, veterans who's homeless, and you got 50 schools. Brother Tyrone Muhammad was saying they asked Brandon Johnson so many times, hey, okay, we open up these schools for community centers. These schools are right in our community. Let's have this for community centers. Let's give our kids something to do so they won't be on the block out here, getting in trouble. No. You don't want to open them up for the community. You want to come out here, and but yeah, people come from Venezuela and everywhere else. You open it up and put them in there. All this stuff that's talked about with immigration right now, y'all, you have to go back to the Biden administration and what all the Democrats were doing with that situation. The thing is, I tell people, I don't use drugs and I don't get drunk. I remember very well those stories. And so now a lot of Black Americans have like, man, bro, I ain't had it with that stuff, man. That's enough with this. Oh, why are you Black Americans feeling that way? Why you didn't say nothing to Biden? You can't just stack people from countries all through America and nobody gonna say anything. That's like me bringing 15 people to your house. What's gonna happen if I bring 15 people to your house? Your light bill gonna go up, food costs gonna go up, toilet paper gonna run out a lot faster. Something always going down that you're probably gonna have to fix or whatever the case may be because you got all these extra people in your house. What do you think would happen? Listen, they've been doing the raids, and look at LA. People talking about now they can literally drive to work and there's no congestion no more. No congestion. I seen somebody in Chicago saying the same thing, like, whoa, it's no congestion with the traffic. Yeah, because all those extra people were cars on the road. All those extra people were gas costs, which would jack up your gas price. I keep preaching that sermon. Your grocery store, your food prices won't go down because you got a bunch of extra people here. And they need to get food too. So the food prices won't drop. If you remove even 30% of them, your price is going to have to drop. But as long as the demand is there, the price is going to stay high. It does not benefit Americans, the average American. I'm not talking about corporations or farmers. The average American does not benefit the average American for this mass immigration. It don't. We have so many issues going on in America, definitely in Black America, that we need to solve. And once again, I'm going to keep repeating the thing because I'm going to repeat it to be truthful. Black immigrants didn't even get those set-asides because they were begging in New York why we couldn't get what the Latinos were getting. When they had those secret job fairs in Chicago, there was no Black immigrants there. There was no African Caribbean immigrants in there. It was all Latino. So even if they are coming from Africa and the Caribbean, they ain't giving them nothing. They're like, we let you in, but we're not giving you the help that we gave the Latinos or the Asians or anybody else. So that's why I tell y'all the Democrats are, y'all talking about the Republicans are racist? No, the Democrats are more racist in my opinion. They just play the game a little bit better with y'all. They let Jasmine Crockett have a voice. And some people think, ooh, that's great. I love that. But she can't get nothing done. I mean, they use Jasmine Crockett like a freaking content creator or something. in Congress. She'll take her votes. She'll make her little sassy speeches and all of that. She's like a content creator. Now, those in California who live in L.A., anybody in L.A. right now that's in the chat? Anybody in L.A. that's in the chat? I'm curious to find that out. Let me see here. I'm trying to see, do I have any? Okay, I see people say, why. I'm trying to figure out what the comments said. I don't see nothing nobody saying here. Is anybody in LA in the chat? I just want to confirm something. You said now J-Lo, who used Puff Daddy and our culture to further her career, she's donating to support Latino women's small business, but not the black women. Well, I wouldn't expect her to. I mean, why do you expect her to do anything? It's black people's fault. Black people we are not smart. We let every group come in, benefit off our culture, and then comments like that say they didn't give us nothing back. You didn't make them pay to get in. You let them get in for free. Listen, this is why the Delineation movement is saying we're gatekeeping our culture now. We're saying you can't get in no more. No, because we have seen when we let everybody in, they'll get in, get their money up, get their paper up, and then turn around and be racist against us. Act like you never knew us. That's why, like I said, I support delineation. The political version of delineation, I support. All that other extra stuff, I don't even want to get involved with. But the political version of it and why we need to delineate and reparations and all of that, that's why I met with delineation. We got to do that. And once again, immigration does not benefit us specifically. It don't. Nobody can tell me how you and I benefit from that. Corporations, yes. And let's call that what it is. You bring a bunch of people in that could undercut wages. That affects American salaries. Why do you think they don't raise the minimum wage? Why should they? Why should they? If you're a person that knows economics and business, why should they do it? When people are going to come in and do the job for less than minimum wage, they're not going to raise. Minimum wage has not been raised since I was a child. Hold on, let me find the year minimum wage was raised. Give me a second. Y'all, you know what? Let's do we're gonna talk just real quick to ChatGPT to find that out. Hold on. When was the last time the federal minimum wage was raised? What year?
The last time the federal minimum wage was raised was in 2009. It's been quite a long time, so it's definitely a topic of discussion these days.
2009. That's a long time. 2009. The federal minimum wage. Isn't that sad, ladies and gentlemen? 2009. Most people would agree. $15 an hour probably would be the minimum wage. $15 an hour. And people aren't making that. Some people still getting paid $7.25 an hour on the job. Isn't that sad? How you gonna live on that? How are you gonna live? But then people will come in, they'll stay 10, 12 to a house. They can take $5, $6 an hour and work all day long. And when they say, oh, well, immigrant households make more than American households. Well, but that same average said that they live about 7 of them to a house. If I got 7 working people in my house, you definitely believe this household would make more money. That's for sure. So if everybody took $6 an hour and everybody be like, okay, hey, we gonna pay so much on the rent, house bill. Everybody splitting the bills up. Yeah, man, people gonna pay up. That's why you say, oh, they do better. Yeah, if you living all in one house, most Americans not gonna do that. We just not cultured to do that. Now, in their communities, though, and when I visit other places, I've seen them. They do that. They do live with each other like that. You could say that may be an advantage they have over Americans. They're willing to live with each other, but most Americans are like, nah, I need my space. And especially us as black people, you know, we not doing that. I did that before though, when everybody had problems and everybody was staying at my grandma's house, and oh boy, you're having one bathroom, and oh man, that sucked. When you have so many people living in the house, that sucks. I don't see how y'all do it. You say you was in Iraq in 2009? Okay, you was in Iraq. You say you remember when it was $4.75 an hour? I remember when it was $3.25 an hour. I remember that too, but $4.75, and then I remember when it went up to $5.15. And when it went up to $5.15, hold on, what year did it go up to $5.15? Let me check real quick. Hold on, let's get chat back on the line. What year did the federal minimum wage go up to $5.15 an hour?
Back in 1997. It stayed at that rate for quite a few years before it was increased again in 2007.
Okay, that's correct. I remember that, 1997. That was my senior year in high school, 1997, because I graduated that year, because I used to work at the Holiday Inn as a dishwasher, right? That's where I used to work at. So yeah, 1997, wow. You say so many homo sapiens in one house? Hold on, who's the president? No. Hold on, 1997, that was Clinton, bruh. That was Clinton. That wasn't the Bush administration, that was Clinton. No, it was Clinton. Bush came in 2000. You remember, he did from 2000 to 2008. And then Obama came in after that. Okay? So nope, that was the Clinton administration still. Good old crime Bill Clinton, him. You know, mass incarceration bill, that guy. But yet he still can come around the black community talking to people. Man. Yeah, I remember making $5.15 an hour. Oh yeah, I thought I was making some money too, $5.15 an hour. Mm-hmm. Yep. Let you know where I'm at in life right now. But hey, I'm happy. I'm not making $5.15 no more, so I'm happy about that. You know, I'm making $6.15 an hour now. Oh man, I'm just playing around. Just playing around, y'all. Just playing around. But here's the thing. The delineation movement is not going nowhere. Okay, it's not going nowhere no time soon. The politicians going to have to get on delineation, whether the Democrats agree with it or not. Why? Because the Democrats are in trouble. And where we at with it, say either you give us some tangibles or you just not getting no vote. That's a serious thing. That's how I'm voting. What tangible you giving to the black community? I don't listen. I understand you got to do for everybody. I get it. Cool. Do it. What you doing for black people out of everybody? What are you doing? What tangible are we getting? See, we're not hateful and say, oh, don't do for other people. Do for everybody. But the problem is with the Democrats, they're used to term everybody and we got nothing. And everybody else would get something and we left with an empty plate. That's the difference with the Democrats. When they say everybody, they mean everybody but black Americans. So what we're saying now is, no. What are you giving black Americans? Because that's going to make sure for me to find out. Matter of fact, when you was in office, what did you do for black Americans? Because the Democrats are so horrible, is that you can't trust them at their words to say, you look, get me in there, I'll do it. We tried that before, and you screwed us. You remember when Biden and them got in office? Remember that? They screwed us over. So now where we at with the Democrats, okay, you want to do something for black people, do it now. If you do something for us now, and you show us, hey, man, this is what I did for black Americans, then we can come back and say, okay, boom, we're going to vote for you because you did something. But you lied to us for sure during the 2020 election. See, you can get away with lying so long. You say, oh, get me in there. I can do a qualified immunity. Get me. Okay, cool. It wasn't even reparations. It was qualified immunity. That's all I was asking you for. Then he get in there, I don't have time for that. Let Congress deal with that. Right? So now, just get us in there. Trump is an issue, man. I'm not worried about Trump. What are you going to do for Black America? Well, Trump not going to do for you. I don't care what he's doing right now. You the one in my face. Trump is not in my face. If Trump come in my face, then I'm going to tell him the same thing. What are you going to do for Black Americans, Trump or Republicans? You're in my face. What are you going to do? That question is the same question to a Democrat or Republican to come to my face. What are you doing for Black Americans specifically? That's what I want to know. And if you can't answer that question, then you don't have my vote. It's just that simple. It's not really that hard. Y'all got to get that simple. It's not asking about another guy. Oh, he's a threat. I don't care what he is. I'm Black. Every day that I live in this country is a threat and dangerous. That one guy that not scaring me when I got to live in this skin in this country. So please. I'm supposed to be scared of a politician. Ooh, he gonna get me. 9 times out of 10, the politician not gonna get you. The police gonna get you or somebody else. It's not gonna be that politician. But they're dangerous. Oh my God, they're dangerous. You're dangerous. You was packing illegal immigrants in my city like sardine cans. Just packing them in there. And then taking resources out of my tax dollars and giving it to them. And then when we say something about it, you want to gaslight us and say we xenophobic? Oh, y'all don't like immigrants? Man, it ain't about that. It's about you taking from somebody, giving to another that didn't even earn it. You taking from the taxpayer. You can't take from the taxpayer and then gaslight them at the same time, calling them xenophobic. Listen, Democrats, that's how Trump got elected. That immigration issue. Y'all made Trump get in. It's not that he was just the best at anything. Y'all was that bad. I'm reading down here. What did Sharon says exactly? No more chances due for us before we vote them out. Period. And it say they got to be permanent. Yeah, exactly. Anything we do, thank you, Sharon. Anything that we doing, it got to be permanent. That's right. And like I said, reparations in the form of cash payments. You know, Judge Mathis. Only got to wrap this up, but Judge Mathis said something that was real fly. He was saying that, you know, to do reparations, they do about, you say almost about $1 trillion a year in the military budget. You say they can do about half of that in reparations each year. You say about 20, 25 years, and that'd be reparations right there each year. And I'm like, yeah, it's that simple. They got enough missiles and bombs and tanks. They got enough. Listen, during the pandemic, when they spent trillions of dollars, it showed me that they can do reparations. If they took trillions of dollars like this during the pandemic, they can do it. I told y'all. The only reason they don't want to do it because they're anti-Black racist. And it's just that simple. If you want to find out if somebody's an anti-Black racist, and yeah, I said it. If you want to find out if an anti-Black racist, ask them, do you support Black Americans getting reparations, even your bleeding heart liberal? You support Black Americans getting reparations in the form of cash payments? Do you support that? And watch them. If they support it and you believe they support it, cool. Then they not the racist ones. But even the ones that claim they like Black folk. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we got to wrap this up. Thank you for joining us on the stream tonight. Greatly appreciate it. Make sure you click the like button, follow us, on all platforms. Download the ADNC app in the Google Play and Apple App Store. And if you're going with us as well to Ghana, keep up with your payments. And also, we still got spots to go to Ghana if you like. $199 down to join us there. And you can make payments. It will be in August 14th through the 21st. But thank y'all for listening. Catch LaSherica at, I guess,